Ukraine, rather to defend NATO allies in the east.
As I made crystal clear, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power.
And joining us now live from Washington is Global's Reggie Cecchini. And Reggie, so no troops are going into Ukraine, but President Biden reiterated today that an attack against a NATO country would be viewed as an attack against them all.
Yeah, and Linda, that would trigger something called Article 5 that's only happened once, and that was back on September 11th, 2001. But essentially what it does is it mobilizes nations to defend an ally that's under attack using any means necessary, and that can include the use of force. Now, you have to remember, Ukraine is not a NATO member, which is why there's been such a broad pushback as to whether or not there's going to be any kind of military buildup on the ground. But financial and logistical support is going to continue to rush in. It's worth pointing out that tonight, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has been asking what country is going to stand with his military as they try to fight back on Russia. And it remains unclear if anybody is going to walk into the country to assist. The threat of the security to the NATO bloc is so great that NATO leaders are actually going to meet on Friday, as President Biden put it earlier today, to further strengthening their resolve in deterring Russian aggression.
Now, Reggie, the sanctions announced are meant to hit Russia hard, and there has been talk about this even leading up to this point, to have those hard sanctions. How significant is the news that we heard today in this conflict?
Well, I mean, look, Russia is no stranger to sanctions. It's been heavily sanctioned on its economy for the last 8 years since it annexed the Crimean Peninsula back in 2014, and the threat of ongoing sanctions on the Kremlin, on President Putin himself, on President Putin's inner orbit, did not stop any of this attack from going forward. And when we heard President Biden today say that he's going after their economic ability to deal with Western financial markets or the Western technology market, it's unclear if that's going to further this military posture and operation even more, especially when we heard from President Biden say that putting a sanction in place is not going to be immediate. It's going to take some time. And if that's the case, that simply allows the Russian military even more time to be able to carry out its operation.
Reggie Cecchini reporting live from Washington tonight. Thank you, Reggie. The Ukrainian flag is flying high at City Hall here in Calgary. Officials say it's a small way of showing support to the sovereign nation as this unprovoked attack unfolds. Calgary is home to many who have ties to Ukraine. Jill Croteau is at the Peace Bridge where people are gathering to show their support. And Jill, you spoke with members from the Ukrainian community here in our city. It must be so difficult. How are they coping tonight?
Well, it's really unimaginable, Linda. There's been a lot of sleepless nights, particularly the last 24 hours has really been, quite frankly, very emotionally exhausting for Ukrainian Calgarians, as all they can really do is wait, wonder, and worry about their family and their loved ones trapped in the middle of this crisis. Many are gathering here tonight at the Peace Bridge. As you can see behind me, numbers are growing by the minute. Earlier today, there was a small rally just outside City Hall around Olympic Plaza. A lot of the folks there had family. They say that they were sheltering in place, sheltering from these explosions and bombs. Those here in this country feel really helpless, but they're clinging to the hope that their freedoms can be restored and they can escape with their lives.
I moved here when I was 16 by myself, so I have half of my family in Russia and half of my family in Ukraine. So personally, it's really hard.
I feel so sorry that I'm not there. I feel sorry that I'm not with my people, I'm not with my family, and I feel very guilty.
I feel ashamed today because as a Russian citizen, we couldn't do anything meaningful to stop this. What our government has committed, invading this country, I don't have words. It just feels surreal, and this is completely utter insanity. And I want to send a message that that tyrant that is called Russian president, he's not my president.
So this has been a very emotional time for both sides. The organizers of this prayer vigil here at this Peace Bridge say they were really inundated with offers of support and help, which is why they gathered here. This is not just for Ukrainian Calgarians and Russian Calgarians. This is really just for all Calgarians to come and stand in solidarity, hoping for a peaceful end to this crisis. This will continue right through until 7 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, we can see the crowd building there tonight. Thanks so much, Jill Croteau, reporting live tonight at the Peace Bridge. Now, protests against the invasion are being held around the world, including in Russia. According to human rights organizations, demonstrations took place today in more than 50 Russian cities. More than 1,700 arrests were made, with protesters being detained by Russian officials. We're going to check in for our first look at the weather. Here's a live look outside, -4 degrees. Paul is in, and we've had some snow today.
We have indeed had some snow, especially between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. As you can see from these live shots, visibility has improved. The snow moving off to the south of us is actually a little bit of sunshine